So we have Stacy today, and Stacy has been, Okay, Stacy has been in the real estate industry since 2019. She has a background in education and is passionate about using all her educational knowledge gained to not only lend a unique perspective to clients and helping them love where they live, but in helping other agents to thrive. Stacy lives in Aloha, Oregon with her husband and 2 children. She spends her free time reading and enjoying all the glory the Pacific Northwest has to offer. She's also passionate about giving back to the community and makes service a big part of her life. And so she's now ready to serve you with her knowledge and help you through today's Ignite course. Definitely interact as much as you can, ask questions, take advantage of this time we have with her. She's also stepped into a reviewing principal broker role in the Sunset Corridor office as well. So we're going to be seeing more and more of her.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, no problem.
I came straight from downtown Pearl District photo thing, and then anyway,
straight chaos.
And then I didn't have enough time to get things set up ahead of time, and that's usually not like me, so I apologize for my tardiness. I'll make sure that everything just kind of flows from here. Yeah, so I'm ready and excited to help you out with everything. Let me pull up my, oops, where did it go? A way to share my screen.
I'm going to turn your little ding dong sound on too, in case anyone else trickles in late.
I love that. Oh, that's not even gonna, oh shoot. Okay, qualifying potential buyers. Here comes the thing. All right, so all right, we've got this. So now I want to slideshow. Can you guys?
Can't see yet. Did you go to the little green button on the bottom of your screen that says share screen?
Yep.
And then if you do the whole thing, sometimes that's easier in case you need to hop in and out of your screen. You don't have to reshare.
Perfect. Okay, now can you guys see me?
Yep.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, and now I need to start this as a slideshow. From current slide. Okay. Come on, slideshow. From current side. It's not letting me do that. Resume slideshow. There it goes. Okay, can you all see?
Yep.
Hooray. All right. Thank you so much, Mara. I appreciate you. Okay, 3rd time teaching this subject matter, so it's not new to me. So what we're going to be talking today about qualifying potential buyers and sellers, and then lead follow-up. So that is what our agenda is today. We will be able to, whoops. There. Wait, is that the right one? Ah. Am I showing the wrong thing? Hang on. There we go. Session 3. So you guys, it looks like, have been talking about being a real estate expert, lead generation, and now we're talking about lead follow-up. So that is what we are going to be focusing on for this course. All right. So your number 1 job as a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. How do we do that? Do you guys have any ideas on how you do that? Any suggestions? Anybody want to pop on in there? I think there's only 3 of you here, right?
With me, I'm just trying to let my acquaintances know that I'm I want to get them on my radar and then hope that word of mouth spreads from there.
Fabulous. That's actually a really good thing. So that's talking about the people that you know, right? The people that know you, your sphere of influence. Fabulous way of doing it. Anybody else have other suggestions?
You can do open houses to find motivated buyers.
That's true. That's a really good lead generation strategy, because you're going to be getting in touch with the people who are able to buy and sell like right now, right? Those are the ones that you're going to want to do. Any other
Mhm.
ideas?
You can look for them through Facebook
Mhm.
and other adverts.
Mhm. Great suggestions. Do you guys have any do you guys have any ideas about what you're most hoping to learn from today before we get started, so that way I have an idea of where you are? What you're hoping for?
Well,
To be able to,
oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll
I'm
speak after
saying,
you.
to be able to screen and find people that you can zero in on and focus your attention on to, either as buyers or sellers.
Okay.
The strategies that you would employ, yes.
Okay. Corey, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, I'm just hoping I'm actually still legacy status for now, and I'm hoping just to get the knowledge that I need so I can hit the ground running. I want to be able to identify the people that I can to work with and to be able to build
Okay.
my base without sounding like I'm a salesman, you know.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I understand that. So Corey, have you been in real estate before, or are you new? No. Okay. How about you, Pitso? Have you been transacting much?
I've been transacting, but not much.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin, I don't see or hear you, but if you want to tune in and tell me a little bit about yourself, so that way I know what you're most hoping to learn about for today, that'd be great.
Hi, sorry, I have 1-year-old babies that are just waking up from a nap, so I'll probably be on mute for most of the time, but I am listening. But I'm a newer agent, and I've been doing a lot of open houses, and so really just trying to screen, I guess, the people that are, kind of just there to enjoy looking at someone else's house in an open house and are actually, ready to start their process.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that, guys. It helps me know what to focus on in the presentation. Okay, so knowing that your job is to find ways to be in the path of motivated buyers and sellers, we threw out some good ideas on how we can do that, reaching out to our sphere, doing some online lead generation, social media, going to open houses. Those are all excellent habits to get started. But we all know that with lead generation, the number one thing, well, with successful real estate agents, the number one thing that you have to do is to have habits that help you follow up. And that is going to be your number one job of making sure that you're staying in the path of those who are motivated, as well as meeting new people to get them on the path of motivated. So always filling that pipeline. I know you probably hear it constantly. You're going to continue to hear it constantly because it's so fundamental to what we do. All right. The second half of that quote contains a very important word, motivated. When we follow the 80-20 principle, which says that 80% of our effort is focused on 20% of our, 80% of our results is focused on 20% of our effort, then that means that we need to focus 20% of our time on our most motivated buyers and sellers. So it's a big rock in our day. It should be prioritized. It should be something that you put a lot of time and effort and energy into. So that way you're focusing where it needs to be focused for the most of the time. And then everybody else you drip on. And so when you hear the term drip, it just means that you are doing things that are usually systematized, set up without a lot of forethought, that just keep you top of mind for people moving forward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about finding the motivated, because that's the first step. All right. So when we are new to something, it can be easy to be caught up in things called misunderstandings. Get it? Not misunderstandings, but misunderstandings. And they block our success. So remember the lesson in day 1 about limiting beliefs. When we have misunderstandings that eliminate our thinking and keep us from moving forward in real estate. So for example, when I started, I thought, well, in order to be a good real estate agent, I had to be amazing on the phone. I had to be like a really good salesperson. And I had to be really good at making cold calls, you know, and that's the only way that I could come across as a competent real estate agent. Do you guys have any others that you can think of that you might have these ideas of what it takes to be an agent that is potentially a myth understanding, something that you might have believed that you no longer do?
Well, a few years ago, I'd always see flyers in my mailbox or people coming to the door and saying, hey, if you ever want to sell your house, that kind of stuff. And that was, I don't want to say it got on my nerves because I understood why people did it, but I will say that it didn't seem very time effective, you know? And that's something that I thought, oh, am I going to have to do that when I transition into real estate, into a real estate career?
Yeah.
Mm.
Pitsa, do you have any that you kind of think are out there that are existing for you?
Well, door knocking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage, patience, and good presentation, because you get different reactions, you know, when you get to some homes. But I guess it is just to persevere and be patient, and some will dismiss you, others will welcome you. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is definitely an idea that people think that if you door knock, then that's going to lead to business, and it can, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the only way that you can get business, right? And if it's not your particular gifting, then don't focus on that. That's the nice thing about real estate, is that it has so many different avenues of being able to be successful. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself into just one.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Okay. How many of you think that lead generation costs money? Any of you believe that?
I've been looking into it, and it costs a lot of money. Oh
Well,
my
that
gosh.
depends. That depends on what type of lead generation you're talking about. Now, me personally, I'm a really frugal person, and I do not like spending money on things that I don't want to spend money on. Like, I'm really passionate about that, especially as a startup agent, right? You don't want to spend the money unless you know that it's going to work for you in the long run. And so I personally built my business not investing a lot of money in the upfront, because I found ways that I could do lead generation that didn't require any money. So for me, Pitso, door knocking was a good opportunity, right? I picked a neighborhood, I became a neighborhood expert. I would door knock, I would go and have one-on-one conversations. I invested the little bit amount of money that it would take to buy A-frames to host open houses. And if you don't even want to buy those, then you can get the, you can ask agents to borrow them. And so I know me and a new agent, we went in on the cost together in the beginning. We're like, hey, I'm hosting on Saturdays, you do Sundays. And then it just worked out for us that we shared the cost until we were each able to afford more. So you don't have to spend money to lead generate. You can lead generate through your sphere, through referrals, through prospecting, through talking about like talking to people in the grocery store line. Even I've done that before, you know, like I've given out my card in line. You just find moments to bring up the fact that you're an agent, and people listen and they want to know what your expertise is. And in that area, they don't know how many transactions you've done. You guys have passed the test. You guys are here in an Ignite training, which is going to get you way more qualified than most other brokerages do for their agents. And so you're going to be like, hit the ground running, ready to go. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay.
But I think your sphere is the best and most reliable lead generation base that you can start off with. Those that you know, like if the people that you socialize with, the church, and other social groupings, those that you know.
Gotcha. You're right. You're right. Those are the people that know you, that love you, that you don't have to prove yourself to, because they already know you as a person, right? The sphere. So reaching out to them doesn't cost anything at all. You can start doing coffee dates and meeting with them, and then asking this important question. If you're not needing help to buy or sell real estate, do you know somebody who is? Because they probably know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And that is how you can build your business. And so, yeah, your sphere can be a great free source. All right, now let's look at this slide right here, how buyers found their agent. This is data collected from the National Association of Realtors about buyers and sellers' experiences with a real estate transaction. This table shows the results of a survey of buyers from 2021. What do these numbers tell us about where to find potential buyers?
Hey, Stacy, I don't see the numbers. Yeah, I just still see the Ignite screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're
Nothing is showing.
shoot. Okay. Let me. All right, let's see. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, good. Phew. All right. Figured it out. Go technology. Really dating myself here when I struggle with technology. It's great fun. But the good thing is you don't have to be an expert at technology to be a good real estate agent. So it certainly can be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at this chart, what are some things that that you notice about where you can find potential buyers? Pretty glaringly obvious. What is it?
From referrals.
From friend, neighbors.
Yeah, referrals from your friends and neighbors. More buyers are finding their agents through referrals than from any other source, which means that the more people you know who are an agent, the more potential you must help them with a home purchase, and the more likelihood for referrals. So look that it also points out that a listing can be leveraged to generate buyer leads, right? The next thing, when you have a listing, wait, buyers found their agents, inquired about a property they saw online. What methods of lead generation and follow-up have we covered in Ignite that align with where buyers find their agents? Anything? And this would be not from today, it could be from before. I know you guys mentioned Sphere.
There was an open house one. I don't remember if it was a Ignite or a PC class. I don't remember which class it was, but we did an open house class.
From other agents.
Yeah, that's how I built my business in the beginning, was open houses. Now it's kind of shifted over to more referral based for me, but when I started, it was all open houses because those were the people who were ready to buy and sell, and I need to get in front of all of them. And so it's a good way of doing it. All right, let's move on to the next slide. How sellers found their agent. All right. So what do these numbers tell us about where to find potential sellers?
Same thing.
It's the
only,
same pattern, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, same pattern.
Only
Yeah.
just a slightly higher number for previous work with them previously.
Mhm.
Correct. Yep.
But otherwise,
But,
yeah.
but still, if you look at those percentages of only
The-
29% used an agent previously from a transaction, that's a low percentage in my opinion. Like if you sold somebody a house, right, and you did a great job for them and you found them a great house and you stop following up with them after you close a transaction, then you're going to be one of those or 71% of the people that they're not going to call again when they're ready to sell their home and then buy again, which means that you're losing out on 2 potential transactions every couple years, right? Or every 5-7 years, whatever it happens to be. So don't ever think that when you close a transaction that you're done with that client. You're never done with that client. They're a client for life. You keep following up with them over and over and over again, providing them value so that that percentage for you is 100%, not 29. But yes,
Yeah.
referrals from friends, neighbors, relatives, those are people that you know and know you and trust you. So sellers find their agents through referrals. A higher percentage are using an agent that they've bought or sold with before. This is a great reminder that follow-up isn't just for new leads and contacts. We should maintain them forever. All right. All right. Do you guys know about the smart plans in Command? The smart plans in Command?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the material that has been required or provided. Oh, actually, no, I'm not, because that's the next slide. Here we go. Command, opportunities. Awesome. Well, smart. In Command, this little hand holding thing, this is where you get paid, right? This is where you get to submit documentation and do all the things that help you get paid for your transaction. But you need to get your people there first. And so you're going to want to set them up on a smart plan. And a smart plan is that little tab 2 above it. It looks like it's a square with a little star at the bottom of it. Do you guys see on the command screen? Okay, that right there is your smart plan. And what you want to select is the 36 touch plan. You should have that selected as one of those smart plans that are always on your in your smart plan library. So that way, when you add a contact into Command, you assign them to that smart plan. That means that you're going to be reaching out to them 36 times in a year. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always calling or only calling, but once you have that person tagged with that smart plan, then the task will automatically pop up into your tasks for the day, and it will automate so that you reach out to that person via call, text, email, letter. It just sends you reminders so that by the end of the year, you've reached your people 36 times. Most of it is automated, so don't freak out. Okay. Okay. There's just a little bit about Command there. Sorry, I had to throw that in there because it's a great tool. People don't use it as much as they should, and it automates so much for you that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so as you've been experiencing, Keller Williams has a defined model and system for everything to do in real estate. Keller Williams also has its own language like leads and contacts, which you already are familiar with. Opportunities is a word in Command that we use to define your sales pipeline of business. Tracks all your potential deals or transactions as they move through your sale pipeline. It's a best practice to put your A, B, and C potential clients into the opportunities pipeline in Command to track their progress. Okay, and you have to use it to get paid. You can see on the screen, or when you open up a Command opportunities, that it will track your clients from the cultivate stage all the way to the closing and getting paid. Opportunities even projects your possible total income in your sales pipeline And if you have any questions, let me know. I love Command and I would love to help you guys later on. I have office hours from 9 to 12 in the Sunset Corridor office. So if ever you need help getting things set up, come see me and I'll help you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So far, any ahas? Anything you learned?
Just
I
keep
think
in contact
basically
after you
so-
make a sale.
Yeah, keep in contact.
Oh, yeah.
Post sale. Always, always.
Nice
A-
to
a
hear
really
that
good
your
way of-
business. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
And I was just saying, it's nice to hear that your business really started from open houses, because that's kind of my plan. So I'm happy to hear you had said that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it was about, I think my percentage that first year was 80% of my business came from open houses, 80%. And then the next year, the connections that I made through open houses, they were reaching out to me like 1-2 years later and then saying, okay, we're
Yeah.
ready now. So
Yeah.
as long as you keep following up with them and being top of
Awesome.
mind, then it can be great for your business. Yeah. Okay. There was something else I was gonna bring up. Oh well, maybe I'll remember. Moving on. Any other ahas that anybody wants to share?
Well, as to use a plan that works for you. I mean,
Mhm.
like you're saying, if door knocking is not the best for you, look for other things. Well,
Right.
because so that you can do 80-20 rule, whatever works for you, concentrate on that. Yeah.
Yeah, they recommend having 3 legs of lead generation. Like whatever those 3 legs look like, just focus on just 3. Get really good at those 3. And then if you need to later, you can expand out, but pick 3 that are going to be in your wheelhouse, something that you can do, that you feel confident with moving forward, because that's what's really going to help you. Okay. All right. All right. So you've probably heard the phrase ready, willing, and able, or ready, able, and willing in many contexts. But in real estate, we think about this order a little differently. We say able, ready, and then willing when we're classifying our potential buyers and sellers. Why do you think we have to start with able?
If a person cannot afford, then you don't want to spend a lot of time on them. If they don't have the money, they're not pre-qualified,
Mhm.
you know, they must get to that position, then you start there.
Yep, exactly right. That's perfectly said. We have to do that because they could have all the readiness and the willingness, but unless they're able to do it, there's no way that you can get them to that finish line. So those aren't the people you should be spending a ton of time with, because yes, you can help them. Yes, you can move them forward, but they're not going to be your focus. So even though leads and contacts have potential, all of them do, they are not all going to close on a home next month. Some contacts may not be able to either buy or sell at this time. A potential buyer may need to save money for a down payment or work on their credit worthiness. Like let's say they have really bad credit in order to obtain a mortgage. A seller might not be able to sell because they don't have the full rights to the property. They're in the middle of a divorce. They have non-mortgage liens on the property. So we start with able so that we can devote the right amount of time and resources for each potential client based on their needs and where they are. So customers always come first, and we need to make sure that we are focusing on that part, able first. All right, so the focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, when you want it, and what you must do to get it. This quote doesn't just apply to us as agents, it applies to everyone. When buyers and sellers know what they want, when they want it, and what they need to do to get it, then our role as agents become clear. Help them find the property they desire and close the transaction. So let's talk about how to know when a contact is able, ready, and willing in that order, right? So that's the important part. Able first. All right. When we're determining the able, ready, and willingness of a potential client, we emphasize come from curiosity. Why do we stress this?
Can you clarify that, please? When you say come from curiosity, are you talking about asking questions? I'm not sure I
It's
understand.
exactly what I'm asking. That's exactly what it means. Why is it that it's so important that when we're meeting potential leads that we're coming from curiosity?
You want to find out their motivations. You want to find out what they'd like, what they want, what they have to do, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
I hope I'm understanding your question right. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
I'm
you definitely are. In fact,
answering
you
the
nailed the
question.
answer. That was
Okay.
that's the best answer. So good job, Gordon. Yes, basically, we need to stress coming from curiosity because it allows us to ask a lot of questions to get to their root motivation and their ability. So we're constantly asking why, right? When we are talking about somebody who is able, that potential client is financially, we're finding out, are they financially and legally capable of completing a transaction now? If they're ready, the potential client is motivated and prepared to make strategic decisions now. And if they're willing, they're eager to buy or sell or both. All right. So we can use this framework to help us differentiate buyers who are ready to do business in the next 14 days. Okay. 14 days from potential buyers and sellers. And those are going to be considered our A clients. They're ready and willing and able in the next 14 days to start business. Okay. This is the starting point of how we're going to be focusing on things. So if you look at the next slide right there, we've got A clients are able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 14 days. Your B clients, those are people who are able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 15 to 60 days. So that's 2 months. And your C clients, they're able, ready, and willing to do business anytime after that. Now, they're all important. Every one of these columns is necessary. And you want to have people in every one of these columns. And you probably will have people in every one of these columns, but you're going to focus the majority of your time on your A column. And then you're going to be focusing on your B column to get those people into your A column, right? Getting them able, ready, and willing, giving them the tools that they need to get to that A column. And then your C people, you're just dripping on. Automated, dripping, touching them occasionally, calling them once a quarter. Those are the things that you're going to be doing to help them out. All right. All of those involve nurturing relationships. And that is a big part of what we do in real estate, right? That's how your people that you know, your Mets, the people that you're meeting, that's how you're going to be developing them into potential clients. Okay. When we have someone who is able, ready, and willing and motivated to do business soon, those are our A's. Our number one goal is to secure the appointment and close with a signed buyer's agreement or listing agreement, right? When you know that because of your multiple questions that you've asked them at the open house, when you meet them at the door, you're like, great. My first question I ask is like, how long have you been looking? That's a great segue into getting them into me finding out a lot of information about them first. Like if I know that they've been looking for a couple of years, I'm like, well, what's happened? Why haven't you gotten a house yet? What's behind that? Are you working with a buyer or are you working with an agent? What is it that is preventing you from acting on getting a home, right? It just the why, going deep into that. But once you know that they're people who you can transact with soon, get them in an appointment. Like that is what you need to secure. Like, okay, well, I would love to set you up on a drip campaign. Let's get you started, not a drip campaign. You'd say, I'd love to set you up on a prospecting profile. I can find you properties that are off market ahead of time. I'm in an office with 250 agents. You know, we have meetings where we talk to each other about what's coming on the market and what we have coming down the pipeline. So is that something that would be valuable to you? How can let's meet. I've got Tuesday at 2 and Wednesday at 4. Do either of those times work for you? And then set the appointment. Appointment setting is crucial. Okay. Our B buyers and sellers are either unable or unwilling or not ready to meet right now. They may be motivated and something needs to happen first. So what do we need to do with them? You're muted, Pizzo.
We need to stay in touch and keep them close to us and just follow up to make sure that when they are ready, we are there.
Yeah. What if they have a low credit score? What should you do? You put them in touch with a credit support specialist, right? Somebody that you know that can help them prioritize and get them home buying ready. What do you do if they have like not met with a lender yet?
If you as an agent, obviously there are some lenders that you work with, and you can refer
Get
them
in
to
touch with that lender.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, that's the whole point, right? Whatever their obstacle is, you need to be that obstacle overcomer, right? In doing that for your B clients, they're going to see you as a trusted individual who's dedicated to helping them and is going to then eventually turn into an A client when they're ready. So be really hearing what their issue is and what's preventing them from moving forward, and then meet that need, right? If it's they haven't done a pre-approval, get them in touch with some lenders, especially lenders that might be specific to their issues. Like if they're a first-time home buyer, you should have a first-time home buyer specialist lender on your list of lenders that you provide to people. If there's somebody who needs help with a bridge loan, then you make sure that you have a lender that focuses on bridge loans. You need to develop those connections with lenders now that can reach out and partner with you in a way that that helps you be the overcomer for those B clients. And then those B clients, once they've overcome their obstacle, they're your A clients and they're ready to go. It won't be in 2 weeks, but it's down the pipeline, and eventually that leads to business too. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions so far? Okay.
No.
Let's see. Our goal with B buyers and sellers is to follow up with frequency and intensity using touch plans or MOFRs. Those are MOFR, MOFIRS. It's make, offer, for immediate response. So that's like giving them something like that needs them to respond quickly. So for example, sending them your lender recommendation list, like, hey, I noticed that you hadn't gotten pre-approval. That's the #1 first step with with home buying process. Let's get you in touch with a lender. Here is the link to reach out to X lender who's great with first-time home buyers, or who's a VA specialist, right? Whatever that need is that client has. Provide them a way to reach out. Okay, and then our C buyers, they have no immediate need to transact. These are the perfect candidates for long-term nurtures and 36 touch plans. So those are the people that you are just going to be dripping on constantly, automatedly, and you don't even have to think about. Because let's be real, unless it's easy for us, we sometimes don't do it, right? Yep. Okay. Right. Any ahas from that last section?
Well, not an aha as much as a question, but I have a couple buddies that, I mean, even though I'm the status I am and I'm not supposed to be talking in this way with them, I have a couple buddies that are in the C category. And so I don't know if I should point them in any directions or anything like that, like with a lender or with any of these other things, because I want it, obviously, like I said, I want it to go smooth, but I just don't, you know, I
Do
don't
you still
know.
have access when you're in Legacy to Command, or not really?
To Command, but not to the MLS.
Okay, that's fine. What you can do though is still set them up on, maybe not a prospecting, but set them up on a on a drip campaign where you are top of mind for them. So it could be something as simple like look into the Smart Plan library. It's redonkulous how big it is. But they have like a Smart Plan for holidays. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
like set up one for like Father's Day, right? And if those are the people that you know are fathers, right? You're sending them a happy Father's Day automated to them. You don't even have to think about it. You just assign that Smart Plan to that contact. Come every Father's Day, they're going to get that notification from you. I mean, how easy is that? That's like automated. You don't have to think about it. I mean, you have to do a little bit of planning to set it up initially, but once you have it on there, it's automatically going to come every single year. And then those are the people that are going to remember you and then reach out when it's time, when they're no longer C's, when they're B's, when they're A's.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Any other ahas?
Well, maybe not so much of an aha. I think it speaks for itself that those that are within the first 14 days, that's where you must put your most effort on, then graduate accordingly.
Right. Yep.
That way you ensure success in whatever you are doing instead of wandering all over. Yes.
Yes. So when you have your A clients and you know they're ready to go, you're going to be pushing, and not in a pushy salesman way, of course, but pushing to get to an appointment, right?
Yep.
That's your goal, to get in front of them, to start working for them immediately, and then to get them under contract, right? That's the focus for those guys. For the B clients, the focus is overcoming obstacles. And then for the C clients, the focus is just dripping so that you are top of mind constantly. If you prioritize it that way, and you always make room for the big rocks in the A column, then you've got time for the B's, and then C happens automatically. You don't have to do that as much, right? I mean, it's always good to call people. They would have said if they would have been set up on a 36 strip campaign or a touch plan, then that's part of how you touch them. You call them once a quarter. And Command tells you when to do that, because they don't give you all of them on one day. They space it out for whoever you have in your database. They spread it out for that whole three months. Okay. Right. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is qualifying those buyers and those sellers. So with the able, ready, and willing framework in hand, we're almost ready to qualify buyers and sellers. What we need now are the questions and conversation starters that are going to help us determine who is able, ready, and willing. In this section, we're going to cover how to use the buyer lead sheet and the pre-listing questionnaire as our pre-qualification tools. All right. So here's the good stuff. Here's what you're actually going to use, right? When you'll print it up, and then you'll have them so that you can reference them again and again and again. All right, so in the last section, we started with the win-win of qualification, and our potential clients win because we provide them with the right value at the right time, and then we win because we are getting our focus on attention on clients who are ready to buy or sell. Based on what we've covered in the previous section, what might be some additional advantages of qualifying leads and contacts? Anyone? It's okay if you don't have an answer.
What was your question again?
What are some advantages of qualifying leads and contacts, like making sure that they're A, B's, or C's?
I think so that you are able to put them in boxes where you can then concentrate. In other words, you know how to prioritize.
Exactly. It helps you prioritize. Well done. So when you are doing that, it helps you better engage with your follow-up. It helps you focus on who you need to reach out to and how you need to do that, because our B buyers are going to need different messages based on their needs, like how to save more for a down payment, or new programs that are coming out, or getting in touch with lenders. Like they're going to have different things that they're going to need versus your A clients. All right. Our A buyers are going to need to know those listings that are available right now, right? That's where you set them up on a prospecting profile through RMLS, and then you can get them going and home touring and whatnot. And our C buyers might be interested in potential changes in the neighborhood that they're looking for. So you set them up on a neighborhood nurture, right? Let's say that there's a neighborhood that they live in, then every one of your sphere needs to have a smart plans assigned to them. That is their monthly neighborhood nurture. And what it does is it gives them a snapshot of what's happening in the market in their neighborhood. You don't have to do anything. It automatically goes out. You can set it for twice a month or once a month. So that's 12 touches when you assign somebody that. Now my parents, they live in Arizona. They're signed up on that touch. Like, I put them in my command. I know they're out of state, but every month they get a neighborhood update from me. Same with everybody in my family who lives all over the country. Every one of them got signed up in that, because guess what? When they hear of somebody who's moving, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, Stacy could maybe help find somebody for somebody, and that's what happens. They just reach out that way.
I've got a question about that.
Yeah, go for it.
You said, so that plan, because I attempted to put someone on the smart plan, and then I got nervous that I was gonna just send them a horrible thing. And so basically I just put them on the smart plan. I enter the neighborhood in command, right? When I enter the address, it comes up with the neighborhood, and then it automatically sends the information. Like I just have to, because I connected the neighborhoods, right? So I'm not actually writing out any of
You are not.
updates.
Nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just have to click, set them up on smart plan. That's neighborhood nurture. Assign that smart plan to that contact.
Great. As long as their address is in and their neighborhood has been assigned, it will
automatically send it. And if you're unsure of what it looks like, have yourself be a contact, send it to yourself first.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but I find that they're highly valuable. Like I have it sent to me every month too. So I pull it up, I look, and like, oh, there's a home that was near me that went on sale. And then I'm like, darn it, that should have been my listing because I should know my neighborhood. Yeah, it's okay though. You don't always have to go down that rabbit hole. I know I just tend to get a little personal when people in my neighborhood sell with somebody else. But that just fires me up to like make sure that that doesn't happen next time. All right, where are we at? What happened? Oh, it went back. All right. And then let's see. We're going to use the same buyer and qualification for all buyers and the same seller qualification process for all sellers. And the reason we do that is because we don't want to be in, or we want to be in compliance with the fair housing regulations. If you treat different people differently, then you're at risk of being accused of not following those fair housing regulations. So just have a system and do that system with everybody that you come in contact with, right? And having that is going to really help you avoid any issues or accusations of treating somebody differently. Okay, so just have those systems in place, do it every time, and you'll be golden. And also, you should be documenting your qualification system and having checklists that make it easier to be consistent, and then ensures that they will provide every client with the same high quality consistency or high quality service consistently. A documented system can also be a lifesaver if there's ever a question about your practices, your business practices, because you would say, look, here's my checklist. I use this every time. And then you know that you're good. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Now in your Ignite materials that they provided for you guys, you should have a copy of this in your notebooks. Where was it? Yeah, it was on page 13.6. So I printed it out, so I have it, but it looks just like this. It's your buyer lead sheet. This is what you're going to be using every time. So print out a stack of them, have them nearby when you have calls that you're taking. And you're going to be using this to get information, right? And to do it each time. So that way you can know their motivation. Okay. So anybody want to feel brave enough to be my buyer that I'm going to practice on? I'll show you how to run through this. It's easy. You just have to answer the questions I'm asking, and it's just making up the answers. No volunteers? All right. I might call. Okay, thanks, Corey. Appreciate it. Okay.
I
So
guess I
hi.
guess I need to unmute to do this though, huh?
Yes, yes, you do.
All right.
Okay, so I'll
All right.
say, hi, Corey. I'm excited to help you find your new home. I'd like to start with some questions to make sure that I can give you a 5-star customer experience. So let's start with some basics. What's the
Okay.
best email and phone number that I can reach you at?
Just make one. All right. Corey B at outlook.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Do you have a method that you would prefer to have contact with? Do you prefer email, text, talk?
Go ahead and email me because I may not always be able to answer with my schedule the way it is, so that way I'll be able to get back to you as soon as I can, and we can communicate as needed.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, thank you for providing me that information. Do you have best times that I am able to reach out to you with?
With email, go ahead and email me anytime, and as soon as I see it, I'll get back to you.
Oh, that sounds great. Has another agent taken you out to show you any properties?
Not at this time, no, just
That's
initially
great.
looking.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm excited to be the agent who takes you out to see some of those properties. Is there anyone else that's going to be purchasing or buying the home with you?
Yeah, my wife and my 22-month-old little boy, who probably won't be pitching in any money, but
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, okay, so this is taking a little break. If the answer to that question is yes, what you want to do is you want to make sure you add that person's contact information too, because if there's
okay.
two buyers, you're never going to want to meet with just the one, because then you're just
okay.
wasting your time, because the other one's going to want to see it too. And then, so just tell them, right, since there's 2 decision makers, let's wait for a time that we can show both of you at that same time, because, you know, just explain it. And then also get that second person's contact information so that you can have both of them to be able to communicate with. Okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. So
Okay.
back to our talking. So I want to help you find the home that fits your needs and the needs of anyone else who will be living with you. So who's going to be living in the home with you?
Like I said, the 3 of us and the dog,
Oh, how fun. What size is your dog?
Chihuahua.
A Chihuahua. Okay. Do they need a big yard or a little yard?
I would hope they only need a little yard. Yeah.
And what does little mean to you?
I'm sorry.
What does little mean to you? When you say little, does that mean?
I want enough for my little guy to play in, but it doesn't have to be massive. It's something that's easily maintainable.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. It's always an important question for dog owners, so make sure that you're getting into what their dogs need, because it's a really important thing.
Sure.
All right, so we can definitely find the right fit for you based on your needs. So how long have you been looking for a home?
I just started.
Okay. And I'm also curious, well, just started meaning what, couple weeks? Couple months?
5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago. All right. So what is motivating that? I'm curious. Why is it that you're moving?
Well, we're looking for something that we can maintain and we can raise a family.
Okay.
My wife.
Yeah. So thank you for telling me that. So knowing that you're looking for a place that you need to raise a family, do you have a specific timeline that you need to meet before you need to be in this house?
Not really. Once our little guy's in school, we want to be locked in.
Okay.
Just because obviously we want him to go to the same school and stay with the same group of friends. But
Okay.
I mean, we've got time. We have time.
Okay. Understand. Thank you for sharing that information for me. So what I'm hearing you say is that there's a need to be in a new place so that you have a place for your son to grow. You want it to be settled and established well before he's in school. Okay, wonderful. That's a great reason to be in the market, great reason to be buying a house. And I just have a few more questions for you that'll help me understand your needs. Are you renting now or do you own?
We own right now.
You own. Okay, excellent. And so if you own, do you need to sell your current home before you buy?
Yes,
Okay, great. And then have you signed a listing agreement with an agent to sell your home yet?
we have not. No.
Okay, see, notice how I'm asking all the questions that are going to be objections later on, right? Or issues that you can't work with somebody, because if the answer to that question is, yeah, we've already signed a listing agreement, then you're like, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Like, that's something that you can't do. If he answered that, yes, he rented, a good question to follow up with that. Do you know when your lease is up? So asking them,
Oh, sure. Sure.
so that way and if their lease isn't up for a year, are they A clients?
Okay, sure.
No, they're not A clients if their lease isn't up for a year, because if their lease
Okay,
is not up for a whole year, then they're not able to buy unless they're willing
yeah.
to break their lease. And then that would be a good follow-up question. Like, let's say we found the perfect house. Would you be willing to break your lease to get it? Right. And so
Okay, gotcha.
that's the asking of the questions to get down to the point. But if you, once you find out that, hey, their lease isn't up until next March, you're like, all right, well, if their lease isn't up for next March, does it make sense for you to be showing them homes now?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, no, but yes, I see. What you're saying.
I'm just letting you know. So that way they're now B clients who are not able at that point. But don't wait till March to follow up with them. Follow up with them every single month, because their ideas of what they need might change.
Right.
And then you
Okay.
don't want them to follow up in March, and then you're like, all right, we're ready to go. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we bought 4 months ago, we broke our lease, because sometimes they don't know what they want until, so consistent follow-up, always, always, always. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. There we go. Wait, no, went too far. Okay, so
All right. Am I off
Oh,
the
I
hook,
guess-
Stacy, or should I stay unmuted?
no, there's a little bit more. Sorry, we've got to keep going.
Okay.
We're halfway through the second page.
All right.
Okay, so thank you for sharing what you did. Are you planning on paying cash for your new home, or are you going to be getting a mortgage?
We would have to get a mortgage. Yes.
Okay, have you already been approved by a lender?
No. No.
Oh, okay. Would you like some lender recommendations? I've got some great people that I've worked with before.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. Do you have an idea of what your down payment would be?
We could probably put 10, 20
Okay.
down.
That's fabulous. Okay, so thank you for helping me get to know how to plan, or how you plan to buy. When we are looking for listings, what price are you comfortable with?
Let's say, how about between 200 and 500?
Okay, that's a pretty big spread. It'll be good to get in touch with a lender so that we can narrow that number down and know that we're not looking outside of your price range, because it can be heartbreaking to have your heart set on a $500,000 house when you're only qualified for a 300. So,
Okay.
all right. Will anyone else be involved in your home buying decision?
Just my wife and I.
Okay, great. And that's an important question, because sometimes grandparents are giving money and they have a say. If they think that they are giving money, then they can say what they want. Anyway, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 meaning you must buy as quickly as possible and 1 meaning you're not sure you'll buy at all, how would you rate yourself?
About a 5.
Okay. All right. What would make it a 10 for you?
Well, again, I was basing that answer on what I said earlier about the little boy and needing to get a house right away versus 3 years from now when he's in school. So, I mean, did I not understand that question, or?
No, you did. It's just
Okay.
the point of that question. So breaking from the script a little bit, but the
Right.
point of that question is just to find out what it's going to take to make them become super motivated.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'll go back into character and say, if he was closer to kindergarten age, but he's not right now.
Okay, gotcha. And then maybe as a B or a C, if you're talking years out, right, you'd want to say, well, does it make sense to get him established in a neighborhood with kids his same age so that he knows people going into school? You know, so you can do things like that that can help them realize that, yeah, I don't have to wait until that time. I can perhaps do it earlier, right? So
Okay.
being in an established neighborhood, but whatever it takes to help them realize what it is that they need to get to that point. That's what your job as an agent is. You have to find out what it is that's motivating them and then meet that need.
Okay. All right.
It's like hunting for clues.
Mhm.
All right, and then we're almost done. I'm excited to help you buy a home. In order to help you find the perfect home, all we need to do is set up an appointment so I can help get you in a home in time. So what's a better day for you? Blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
You got it? Thanks for
Yeah,
volunteering,
yeah.
Corey. I know that was a lot. It was a long one. You did great. All right, so any questions about how to qualify? Because that's the process. You'd want to have this paper printed out and you're taking notes as you're going, right? Because you're having this conversation on the phone and you're taking notes and you're writing down what's important to them. And then you're delving deeper with each question so that you can really, really get to know them and that they feel heard.
If they say they own a house and they have not yet made arrangements to sell the house, but they want to buy another house, how do you transition? Because they need to find a place to, if the house sells before they're able to buy, how do you help them navigate that?
So that's a good question. It depends. For example, there are some people that don't have to financially sell their home first before they're able to buy. So you should really educate yourself, but then there's others that can't. And then you as an agent need to educate yourself so that you know what a bridge loan is, number one, because that's one way that people buy first without selling. So bridge loan is a really important thing to do. That's a conversation you can have with a lender so that they can explain it to you, so that you can explain the gist to your clients, but then you're going to reference them to a lender because that's their area of specialty, not your area of specialty. There are programs that are out there that help people buy first, then sell. One of those is KNOCK, K-N-O-C-K. Keller Williams has a partnership with them. Same with Homeward, H-O-M-E-W-A-R-D. And so those are both programs that are available there. If a client is contingent, as in they have to sell their home in order to buy first, then you really need to be familiar with those forms to use and how to help advise your clients on that and the risks that are involved in doing that. So I would just educate yourself on those areas because it's really common and that's an area of expertise that you're going to have to be really, really dialed in on. Do you guys have any questions about any of those things?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I would get in touch with KNOCK and Homeward. Those are both programs that we cooperate with in our office, and they're what a lot of people don't know about as agents. And when you're meeting somebody in an open house and they're like, yeah, we kind of like our house, but it's stressful because we have to sell first before buying. I'm like, hey, let me provide you with this flyer that I pull out that's branded to you because you've already met with the Homeward or the KNOCK person and be like, did you know that this program existed? I've had clients that have been like, oh my gosh, no way. And then they choose me as their agent because I was able to provide them with an option that is less stressful. All right, anything else? Okay. Role play. find a partner role play. It's really hard to do that on Zoom. I feel bad that we're skipping that. It's really important to do though. So I guess you can make sure that you're practicing that conversation. Promise me you will take that form and then do what I did with Corey, just have somebody pretend to be your buyer. Yeah, you guys promise, pinky swear, all the things. Okay, good. Any other ahas from what we just went over?
Just again, make sure you get all the information you can to make things smoother for yourself and the buyer or the seller.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. People love talking about themselves. And when you're asking them a bunch of questions about what they like or don't like, you're going to get so much information.
I have a question for you. This is totally unrelated to what you were just talking about, but I would like to ask you before I forget. It's back on the smart plans. If someone, I just practiced this, I went to myself and it says unsubscribe. I guess I could just practice myself. Does it notify you if someone unsubscribes from a smart plan you put them on?
Yeah, it does. And it will also notify you when you click on that, when you click on that contact, it'll notify you on how many times that they're opening the things that you're sending to.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great. Like if you're sending a neighborhood nurture, and that's one of the smart plans that you have everybody set up on, then whenever they are hearting or liking a property from that neighborhood nurture, it alerts you of that in the command notes section on that client. And then you can, that's like a talking point. You can call them and be like, hey, I noticed that you really like this property on X ABC Street. Is there anything I can do to help you? Right? Reach out at that point, and then you know that they're there. Another thing, since Caitlin, you were talking about open houses, they have open house smart plan follow-ups.
Okay.
So
I'll dive
you can
deeper in there.
Yeah, you can choose one of those smart plans for your open house nets and then just automate it. And it's great. It's fabulous. Okay, hang on just one sec. My dog needs to go out.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm back. All right, so touch plans. Let's talk about those. Page 29. Let's go for that. Okay, at this point, you've uncovered your A, B, and C buyers. When you uncover a buyer who's not able, ready, and willing to buy right now, that indicates they are a future transaction. Stay in relationship with them. Use those touch plans. Here is the basics. 19 to connect. That's 4 times a year you call them. 12 smart plans, right? Those monthly mailers, newsletters, the neighborhood snapshot. 2 promotional direct mailings, such as a magnet or a calendar or a printed report, et cetera, and 1 event that you have. That's 19 to connect. 36, you just add a little bit more promotional things. And then 1 to cement, a high value touch that solidifies the relationship you have and opens the door for future interactions. What I like to do for all my past clients are called pop buys. And I just have these cute little things that are not very expensive, because again, remember, I'm very frugal, but like are very cute and thoughtful. And the point is that I'm getting in front of my people and I'm talking to them face to face. And I've had, past clients who I've sold a home to, they're like, come on in, look and see what we did to our laundry room. So you get to go and see the upgrades that they've done. I don't know. It's just really fun. So just don't forget to reach out to your people. Always, always, always just be top of mind. Okay. All right, so we qualify seller leads with what's called a pre-listing questionnaire that helps us build relationships with the 6 connecting questions that classify our potential sellers as A, B, or C. Our pre-listing questionnaire will also help us create a pre-listing packet that wins the listing agreement by focusing on the seller's motivations. All right, you guys want to look at what that looks like? Here's the pre-listing questionnaire. All right, you guys all know what's coming next, right? More role playing. Thanks, Corey, for taking one for the team. But now Caitlin and so you guys aren't off the, you're not in the clear. One of you has to go.
Hmm.
Who's
I
going to
can
be
go,
my
that's fine.
victim? I mean, volunteer.
I'll do it, but you will hear my babies in the background. I'm sorry.
That's totally fine. And that's probably what's going to happen with your clients too. So it'll be like normal. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And I actually do have a 22-month-old, so I know exactly
Get
what
it.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
Well, okay, so here we go. So hi, Caitlin. I'd like to take about 5 minutes of your time to just ask some important questions that are going to help me provide you the best service. So let's start by making sure I have your correct contact information. Is 555-5555 your number?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, and your email address, blah, 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 @something.com. The best way to reach
Yes.
you?
Uh-huh.
Fabulous. Okay. What's the address of the home that you're interested in selling?
123 Main Street.
Awesome. Okay. So this is the first thing that I need to start on your marketing analysis. I just have a few more questions, starting with, how did you hear about me?
I saw your sign as I was driving through a neighborhood the other day.
Oh, cool. So you saw my listing on XYZ Street.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cute little property. I love it. Okay. So, but now can I shift the focus to be a little bit more on you? Where are you planning on moving to?
The Springfield area.
Did you hear me? What is motivating you to move now?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
What is motivating you to move now?
My neighbor is too loud.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And how soon do you need to get away from that neighbor?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Okay. Thank you for sharing those details with me. If we sell your home in the next 30 days, is that going to pose a challenge for you or anyone in your household?
It would pose a slight challenge. I guess my husband's not quite ready yet.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that. What is it that is preventing him from being quite ready?
He doesn't want to pack up the house.
Oh, gotcha. That's very helpful to know. What do you think would be able to have me help him or have us help him get to the point where he's ready to do that?
Finding the house that he would be happy to move to.
Understand. Okay, fabulous. And I can also put you in touch with some great movers that pack up the house for you. Right?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. All right. So that's helpful to know. What would happen if the home did not sell?
I guess if it didn't sell, we would stay.
Okay. And live
Maybe
with those
try
annoying
again.
neighbors.
Yeah, maybe try again in a couple months.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, thank you for helping me understand your situation a little bit better. Tell me, do you have a number in mind that you want to list your home for?
We do. It'd be about 450.
450. Okay, great. That's a real important question, guys, because that lets you know what they're expecting, right? Okay, and then one more question about the home. How much do you owe on the property currently?
We owe about 320.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be sending you a packet of information in the next day. Will you take just a few minutes to review it before we meet on Thursday?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. And Thursday at 4 is going to be a great time for you to meet?
Yes, that'll work.
Perfect. Do you have any questions for me before we meet?
No, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, and will all the decision makers, including your husband, be there when we do meet?
Yes, he will be.
Fabulous. Okay, I look forward to meeting you on Thursday at 4. Have a
Great.
fantastic day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Caitlin. Great job. So notice that these are questions that are going to help you find out their readiness, their willingness, their ableness. And one thing I really gleaned from that conversation is that she has somebody who's not fully on board. So either I meet that expectation and help them get on board, or they're not somebody that I should be meeting with yet.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, when she mentioned that she's looking at about $450, you as the agent, You haven't done, or have you done this CMA on the house yet?
Well, if
Is
I'm
that-
just getting her address, then I wouldn't have had time to do a CMA yet. But if I knew the address ahead of time, then I would have done a little bit of digging. But you never want to give away the number that you think it's going to sell for until you're in that appointment.
Okay.
Because you want to secure the listing, and one way of doing that is to be providing them the value of it and being able to sit them down and then frame it in a way that you reveal that number at the right time in a way that is going to help them be ready to buy or to want to sign with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Good questions. Anybody else? All right, moving on. Okay, another pinky promise. You guys are going to go through this with somebody, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm glad to hear that. You're all in agreement. All right, any ahas?
And I think just the fact that you were able to bring them on board and listen to them and hear exactly what their needs are without necessarily, like you're saying, kind of like imposing yourself with what to think about the property, because you really haven't seen the property, but you just want to build some confidence so that you feel close to they feel close to you. Yes.
Right, right. And the more questions you ask them and are genuinely hearing them, the more likely they are to trust you and the more likely they're going to feel good about moving forward with you, you know, because it is ultimately all about them in the end and how you can meet their needs with exceptional customer service. So. Okay. All right. So at this point, we've uncovered our A, B, and C sellers. When you uncover a seller who is not able, ready, or willing to buy right now, that indicates they're a future transaction and you need to stay in touch with. This is when you use your touch plans to nurture the relationship. For example, you could send your B and C potential seller market updates, keep them informed of what's going on, letting them know how much equity they have built up in their house and how they can leverage that to help move on to another house, purchasing an investment property, whatever it is that they need, that's how you're going to be able to provide for them. So a monthly neighborhood nurture is a really great one for listings because it provides them what's going on in their neighborhood at that time. Okay. And you'll talk a little bit about how to win the listing later on in Ignite. So don't miss that one. It's called Win the Seller. It's a good one. And then your call to action this session is to question and categorize your A, B, and C buyers and sellers in your database and then set them up on those smart plans that are necessary for them. So to be clear, everybody in your database needs to be on the 36 touch plan at least, right? Everybody that you know is a homeowner or is looking in a certain neighborhood needs to be on the monthly neighborhood nurture. Everybody that you know needs to be on those holiday smart plans. So that way you're touching them all the time and being top of mind. Make sure that you are being consistent with those things, and the automated ones, it's a no-brainer to just do that because it looks so professional when it comes out and it's just a really nice way of doing it. So that's also homework. Set up your smart plans. Do it now. And then every time that you bring somebody else in and you tag them as an open house met, sync your open house tag to the smart plan so it automatically sets them up right away. It's a really cool way of doing things. And then it's a no-brainer. Follow-up just happens because you will get busy. And you can't follow up with everybody right away. It's impossible. And so the more you automate, the easier your life is going to be. Any ahas? Okay. Let's see. This concludes our segment on lead follow-up, where we've covered the importance of following up with the people in your database forever, so you remain top of mind when they have a real estate need. We covered lead conversion, which is the path to an appointment, and signed agreement, We've learned about strengthening relationships though through touch plans that continually nurture them. And finally, we talked about how to qualify and categorize potential clients for now and future business. So make sure that you are using the tools that have been given to you. Go through and print up your questions so that the next time you have a phone conversation with somebody, you can just fill that out right then and there. And then you start implementing that system every time. Okay. All right. Each day in Ignite, you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and aha as you move toward achievement of your big life. And that's what we're here for, right? To achieve our big goals. Anybody, you want to take just a little bit of time to reflect on these questions? Was there anything that changed your thinking or your mindset? Was meaningful to you today? Are you going to have an action that you're going to take? And then what tools, models, or systems are you going to use? Anyone want to share?
Well, I'm not super tech savvy, so that part of the
Yeah.
job has sort of intimidated me. Plus, like I said, with a 22-month-old, I'm going to be doing most of my work here from home, and so I guess for me, before I upgrade my status from where I am now, I really want to familiarize myself with everything and be able to do the technology related things that we talked about today. I want to be able to make it clockwork almost, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's valuable, Corey, but I would also caution you that don't get to the point where you feel like everything has to be perfect before you're ready to launch. Because perfection will never be achieved and you'll never know everything. And so don't let that be something that is keeping you from moving forward. Sometimes you just got to do it and then learn as you go. I remember not having a system in place for a listing. And then my first listing, I'm like, what do I do? Like I didn't have a system in place. So I was creating the system as I went with the help of, my coach and my, my productivity coach at the time. And then also just other agents that I could reach out to. So anyway, it's okay to not have everything dialed in. I mean, obviously it feels good when you feel confident moving forward, but don't make that be like something that's keeping you from launching, because in real estate, it's impossible to know everything. Every transaction is different.
Yeah. I think really that is the issue, that you need to have confidence. You can't be perfect. Smart plans help and so on, but if somebody comes and says, I've got a house that I need to sell, can you help me? Can you be my agent? If you haven't done it before, it's like you get overwhelmed and say, where do I start? What do I do?
Right. Right. And that's where you say, absolutely, I can help you. And then you get on the phone right away to your coach and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then so my productivity coach shared with me like a listing launch checklist, like all the things that you need to do to get ready to launch a listing. And I use it even now. Like it wasn't something that I created myself. I mean, I refined it and I changed it a little bit, but that exists for you out there. So you have a wealth of people that you can rely on.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask for help. You can ask me.
I can ask you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the contracts and compliance person at Sunset Corridor. So if you ever have any questions about documentation or about like, how do you, whatever, that's what I'm there for. Like, that's my job.
Okay. And can you share your contact details?
Yeah. So it's my name, STACEY .COYE @kw.com.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you need like tools and stuff, I'm happy to provide that to you. And then my phone number is 503-819-1022.
1023.
1022.
22. Okay. Thanks.
That's okay. And great job getting my contact information. That was smooth. That's what you want to do with your Mets, right? It's great
Yeah.
to give a business card. It's even
Yeah.
better to get the information. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't have my business card with me, but if you give me your email address, I can send it to you.
Yeah.
I can send you the information. I can give you what you need. And then there's somebody that you're dripping on.
Okay, if I need anything, I'll certainly get in touch
Absolutely.
by email or
That's
by
what we're
phone.
here for.
Thanks.
That's the great thing about our market center is it's such a spirit of camaraderie. I just love it. And if you're not plugged into our market center yet, like you haven't started attending things in person, or you are not like doing all of the activities, then I would encourage you to do that, because the people in our brokerage network are just great people. And everybody wants to see everybody else succeed. It's not cutthroat. It's not horrible that way. So
Mhm.
people are happy to help you.
Stacey, I have another Smart Plans question for you, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Absolutely. How can I help?
I have quite a few contacts. So I recently moved to Oregon less than a year ago. So my sphere of influence is relatively small so far, but I coach juniors volleyball, and I
Cool.
have all of their parents. The season's over, so I'm no longer seeing them all the time, but I have all of their email addresses and phone numbers, things like that.
Yeah.
I don't have their like residence addresses though to put them on a neighborhood nurture plan. Is there another monthly sort of drip plan that you would recommend for those types of contacts where I don't know exactly where they live, but I would definitely want to stay in contact with them?
So
I'm
what you could potentially do is set their high school as their address, right? If it was through a
Okay.
high school, right?
okay.
And then that's going to feed the whole neighborhood. And then one of the buttons on the neighborhood nurture is if they wanted to add a neighborhood, they could. So it's
Okay.
it's at, and I would also preface it because they know you as coach, right? I
Yeah.
would also send out an introductory email to all of the families, be like, oh my gosh, I know you know me as a coach, but I'm launching my career in real estate, and I wanted to introduce myself in that capacity. And there's a great tool that I have that I want to, set you up on. There's no pressure or anything. And then you can, you can opt out at any time, but it's called a monthly neighborhood nurture, and it just gives you stats and data about what's going on in the area. If you want, you can send me your address and I can set you up on that. Or, just don't be surprised if it hits your inbox, so that way you're communicating with them and you're introducing your new role.
Okay. Yep.
I had to do
makes
that
sense.
because I was a teacher. So a lot of people knew me as a teacher. And
Right.
so I had to just reach out to my sphere and be like, hey, you know me as Mrs. Coy, but I'm actually a realtor and this is what I can do. So.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good way of being in touch with your people too. It's a good reason to give them a call, to introduce yourself initially.
Okay.
And that's where, even if they're not ready to buy or sell, you ask that important question: who do you know that I can help?
Okay.
Anybody who is looking to buy and sell, or invest, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Good questions.
Mhm.
But as far as smart plans go into the smart plan library and type the specific thing that you're looking for. There are, I'm not kidding, like 15,000, 16,000 smart plans out there. People create them all the time for a lot of different things. And so there might be one that's out there. It's just not one that I know of. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. The success system. Remember, you're supposed to role play with a partner. You practice every day, every morning. There's that scripts call, right? Are you guys in the Sunset Corridor office, or are you guys with a different branch?
Capital City.
Capital City.
Yeah.
You're both Capital City.
Capital City. Yeah.
All right. I'm pretty sure they would probably have some sort of practice in the morning. Reach out to your coach and see. But that is something that really, really helps, because when you're exposing yourself to the verbiage and the terminology, it's just going to spit out of your mouth without you realizing it. And you're like, oh, I actually sound like I know what I'm talking about. This is amazing. All that practice is really coming in handy. And it happened to me the first time and I was really surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. Yay. I didn't even have to think about it. All right, but just get in the habit of doing that. Even seasoned agents need it because it just helps set your mindset and it helps get you in the right headspace to do business for the day. So start with the practicing and the role playing. It's a really important thing to do. And then let's see. So remember, the first job of real estate agent is lead generation. You're going to hear it constantly. So you should be having 10 conversations every day with regular people, anybody, 10 contacts that you're adding, and 10 handwritten notes, and then social media touches, 10 likes, 5 comments, and then 1 personal message, right? Those are the things that you need to do. And then always be mindful, don't break the rules. You have to make sure that if they're on the do not call list, you don't call them. You have to say it every single time so that you don't get sued, because those fines are really hefty. Hasn't happened to me personally, but they're a big one. So I have to actually read this to you guys verbatim, so that way we let you know that we let you know. Today, you're going to make calls to your sphere and people in your database. Before you make any calls and texts, please remember to honor the TCPA and do not call lists, including those of your market center and state. If you have any questions or concerns about this, please consult your market center or attorney to ensure compliance. Refer to the pages at the beginning of your participant guide for more details. These guidelines are for your protection as well as for the protection of your clients. Make sure that you do not call, for when you make calls or text to your database, those people on that list. Okay. Have the past teachers like actually carved aside time for you guys to do that? Like these things? Have they made you call? When I had Ignite, it was in person. It was before COVID, right? And so it was in person and we had to call every day. Are you guys doing it? Are you making your calls?
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Hopefully. The answer to that question is always yes. Yes, I am. I'm making my calls and I am reaching out because that's what's going to help build your business more than anything else. Yep. All right. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. That's just something to keep in mind as you start. It gets your mind set in the right place, and then you come from value add and you have it set that way. All right, I think the rest of this is just role-playing time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the rest of this is role-playing. Okay. Any other questions before we go? Did you guys feel like you have a better grasp of how to reach out to people and who you can reach out to?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, very
Good.
much helpful.
Good. Yeah, I love having the actual thing in front of you, like the paper, like having that is going to help you because it's something that somebody's already created. You don't have to think about it. It's all there, and it gives you a guideline to the conversation to have with the buyers or the sellers. So it's like a win.
Yep.
Okay, well, if that's everything, I think I'm going to head on out. It was a pleasure to meet you guys. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm here for you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.